yesterday, but we are into this one now. Endpoint on that CT side, forZe on the T side. I think this is going to be a big half from forZe. Dust.
No, I think I would tend to agree with that. They're a team that is very hard to deal with on this map. We'll talk about why a little bit later as we get into more of the gun rounds, but that was uncalled for. No needed for that. Someone call PETA.
Well,
I actually like chicken a lot, so I mean, whatever.
Chicken thigh or chicken breast?
Definitely a dark meat guy. But honestly, I mean, it's wings, right? Wings all the way.
Okay.
And it has to be traditional wings, because boneless wings are not wings, those are nuggets. Anyway.
All right, well. Crucial's looking to find us. Oh, hello. Okay.
Peace.
Pop, pop. And just like that, there's two dead in the apartments. So now there's not too much left for forZe to do except to just go B. At least that's simple. So see if they can try and make this one work as a good opener. That's what they needed to do. Get a fast entry. Okay.
Okay.
All right, it's just getting harder and harder for forZe, but Almeza's ready for the thing. He's looking for another one out of that USP. He knows one's near, and the USP doesn't deliver, but Flit will from the site with that P250 at range, making it work, making it sing as the USPs come back in towards that bomb site to try to stop pressuring that defuse. Crucial. Is he going to go for the stick? He doesn't have the kit in hand to really do that. Now Mesa is not buying it. Not buying it at all. There's the kit collected. The smoke goes down. This could be dangerous. Crucial now looking to commit to this, looking to hold it in the smoke. Almeza, he sees the back. He just gets it in time. And that is...
Oh, my.
You say that round was stolen? It felt like there was a lot of advantages for Endpoint, but...
Oh, his ankle just hanging out the smoke is what saved the day for forZe. Yeah, you would think after these two kills, the round's done and dusted. I mean, just quick 5-on-3. Crucial's also getting some other nice kills, but yeah, just that foot hanging out a little bit too much.
Last couple bullets as well.
Yeah, that was wild. Very much a nail biter. More so than you would think after watching the first, 10 seconds of the round. So you are seeing the buy up here from Endpoint. It includes a Nova of all things. Don't see that too often. Scout in place, upgraded pistols. Those are a bit more common, but Almazer with the SG will be able to draw first blood.
That Scout just really not making his way across. It's quite telegraphed what's happening there. And 70 players here to exploit it. The Nova at least gets one, so that is some money, some bonus money. It almost pays for itself with the one kill, as it is very cheap these days. I think around $1,100, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it 12?
1,200 or so, around
something
there.
like that. And the kill's 900, so yeah, like a $300 loss, I guess you could say.
So that's not too bad, I suppose, but...
We're probably wrong, so...
Ultimately, though, this is a very bad sign, because I think it's fair to expect that forZe, again, will have a big T half. The reason I think why we're saying that is because of what we saw yesterday of Endpoint on this CT side. They tend to play Banana very passively. When the T side picks up that they are doing that, they tend to just exploit it. And once you deny the Banana information, the CTs, it's just a gamble, basically. It becomes just about trying to figure out if you can poke into top mid to get some information. If you fail to do so, you have nothing.
So this round, obviously, Endpoint will be lacking a whole lot. They're just going to do a gamble stack at A. You kind of have to do something like this on a round where you don't have much to work with to give yourself at least a chance at causing a problem. But the problem with forZe is a very B-heavy team. You'll find this out throughout the game. They love the 1-4 splits towards B, where they'll just leave like one guy lurking alt mid or apartments, and the other four really like to focus on banana control. That is kind of their bread and butter. They run it more often than most teams. Most teams will run like traditional defaults a lot of the time. forZe just love to run it down your throat at B with 4 players at the very beginning of the round and keep it up throughout the half. So definitely something to keep your eyes on as this bomb does make its way into B and get planted. And now the SMGs are just looking to farm cash. I mean, that's really all that they're trying to do now. Get as much money as they can out of them.
Jerry looking for that money. And did he hear some steps? So I think there were indeed some steps to be heard. And there it is. He's on for the hunt. For Thomas, it was not supposed to go like that. Jerry will make his way down, and they are going to find pretty much everybody, it seems like. Indeed. Robin has been found as well. So the round is over with, and now we get into the real Counter-Strike. We get to start to be able to paint a picture, to be able to understand how the dynamic will work out between Endpoint and forZe when it comes to these defaults, because that's really going to set the tone. So we'll see. We'll first pay attention to that banana dynamic, as you said, Dust. I'm curious if we'll see that kind of permutation of the default, that 4-1, as opposed to the 3-2, which is so typical.
Yeah.
And
here's that 4-1 right now. Very first gun round they're going to run it. But actually decide to divert up to middle based on Crucial taking these peeks with the AWP. They want to try to punish that. Crucial is going to be forced back. There's a very rapid play from forZe up into brackets, already wrapping into Moto. Surreal is waiting for it, though, with open arms with this M4. Only good for one, however. Great trades from forZe, and now they can pinch B.
Wow, this is actually so devastating. It's such a brute force push here. Looking to try to stop things in CT. Mighty Max can only get one. And so Power's just that T-pit. That's the last thing you want to see if you're Endpoint. Trying to rotate and there's an AWP under the T-ramp. That sucks. But now Crucial's there trying to find a re-peak potentially. But what a crazy brute force round from forZe. That's such a gambly way to open up the gun rounds. Yeah. It's very surprising. It's kind of like running just like a fast contact play on Mirage on the A-bomb side. It's your first way to deal with the CT buy round.
It did feel like an audible that was called. Like, I think when Crucial started challenging with the op at Mills when they decided to go for it, I think originally they were looking to Banana, but of course we'll never know for sure. Either way, a round does go their way again, so they're up 4-0. Crucial just trying to save the WP here in T-side apartments. Was able to deal with the first player who came after him, and it doesn't seem like these other two are really going to get close. As I say that, though, Flit is sort of in the area.
One thing that's interesting too is as well about that call to go hard up mid so fast is that it's a really good punish if you know that the other team likes to play banana heavy investments early on, like let's say 3 players at the rush timing on banana. That pushes it basically a timing attack. It's like a 5v2 on the A site. So if Endpoint were running that, they would have got decimated. That said, we know that Endpoint play really passively on B, so it might not be the team to run that against too often, but it worked out well there.
Absolutely did. As we are going to see that 4-1 opening take place. FaceCrack, funnily enough, is the guy who usually lurks apartments and Boiler for this team. Even though he's normally like entering like you saw in the last map, he likes to be that A aggressor on this map or by himself. As we do see already an entry come in from forZe here, thanks to C Power's AWP. They start taking control of top banana. Again, it's really weird. Like, they don't really also take traditional apartments control on this forZe team. Like, FaceCrack usually just kind of holds back alt mid or top middle. Maybe he'll go Boiler here and there. But again, it's very different from most defaults you see on this map. And I think that's what makes forZe a little bit unique in a certain way.
Yeah, it's actually really strange to see that. Especially, I've been looking at so many Inferno demos recently, and I don't know another team that does this.
When I was doing the research for forZe and I was watching their Inferno demos, like, this is the thing I noticed immediately that just like really caught me off guard. And I'm not sure if it's good or bad or how you want to draw conclusions from it, but they usually do pretty well on this map, so it works for them at least. And here they go, looking to barrel into B. Utility is down.
All the CT players ready, and we'll have to see if the utility is going to do its job here, because it's supposed to be able to deal with a setup like this. forZe not caring that their rotation is fully into this B-bomb site, trying to clear everything, knowing that all the CTs are pretty much present. So now it's just construction and CT that's really up to question. Incendiary, they got position, and they're looking good to close the round out now. And I like the decisiveness here from forZe, even if you can, again, even if you expect that, okay, they probably have got the rotation through. They have all their players in position. Throw the utility, do the execution properly, and it should be okay, and it was in this case.
It's tough to follow forZe because, I mean, I know their tendency to do the 4-1, but their roles are actually really loose, like who plays what spot, other than FaceCrack usually playing A on the 1-4. Other than that, it's very kind of flexible who will go in first, who will go in second, or who will play top middle. It's really hard to follow, but again, they make it work because their spacing's usually good and they're usually always on the same page. And so even if it's simple and chaotic, it works for them because at least they all kind of believe in it. And that can certainly sometimes be just enough, as they do divert things a bit, trying to go towards middle. Crucial gets aggressive in the apartments, though, does find FaceCrack, so a nice opening for Endpoint, able to even backtrack and catch Z-Power. That's exactly what you want.
He's going for more as well, and he's going to get more. Oh, he's going for that 4th player. Good stuff from Crucial, and I like the initial pick because just like you're saying, if they have done the study and they know that forZe have this tendency, Crucial is going to get 1v1s within open apartments, which is very favorable if you know which angles to take. And you can see he read the movement there. The player jumping through the window, he's looking for him, he gets the kill, falls back, know that there's another player that's going to be supporting around top mid, and able to finish off that player as well. So just good read of the game there from Crucial. Now it's just a case of finishing off the round, and for forZe, it's the case of doing damage here. They most likely cannot win the round, but can they find a way to make this one hurt? They can't allow Endpoint to survive with 5 players. That can't happen.
Yeah, they're just split up, trying to see if they can find a 1v1 somewhere on the map. Flit holding attention at A as much as he can while his teammate Jerry works his way into that B bomb site. Again, Endpoint usually very passive on B. We saw that a lot yesterday. They don't really challenge this angle. They usually just kind of sit back in the back of the site. And so it's giving a lot of space for Jerry to move up. He starts to find the entry at some point. Mighty Max and Thomas will combine for the frag instead, leaving Flit all by his lonesome. He does have the bomb, but no time. Too many CTs left standing. Barely any even damage taken on the Endpoint side in this round. Just a bit on Surreal and Crucial. So a very dominant victory from Endpoint, which is exactly what they needed. You know, forZe were really starting to run away with the half a bit, but now they have been able to challenge.
What a great result. Okay, now it's just a question about stringing some more rounds together. That's the next mission, and can't really rely on this one too much. You know, Crucial having a really good round here. I'm curious if this will actually trigger the forZe guys to decide to maybe mix things up a little bit in terms of pace or a general approach. Maybe if we will see a more normal default.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Crucial's been very eager to challenge middle almost every single round this AWP. Again, maybe feeling confident that he can because they usually like to go up banana very quickly. But this time he challenges a bit too long. Z-Power inside. Yeah. The sewer will be able to get that frag.
And he's moving into a left eye peek against a right eye angle. That's very unfavorable in the way that he approached that one. But it's going to work out on Banana, so that's okay. They lose one position and win another. That's a good trade because it's going to be Banana as well. And that forces forZe a very fast move, and they know they have to move quickly to beat the rotation out. That's exactly what they're going to try and do. They get the initial picks to take the site, and all of a sudden, there's the Moto smoke drop, there's the Vino plant, and it looks really good now for forZe all of a sudden. What a smart response.
Yep. It's one of those things where Endpoint took control of Banana, something they didn't do against Furia all game long yesterday, but it still backfired because of forZe's quick response towards A, but now still a chance, a 2-on-2. Almazer and Thomas dancing ever so close to each other inside the smoke. As it fades, someone will eventually win that fight, and that will decide the round most likely as FaceCracker's holding off this lane. Almazer does get in behind, but can't land the bullets, and Thomas has a chance to pull this thing off with Mighty Max, and indeed, they do figure it out. The defuse comes in, absolutely unfortunate there for Almazer.
Oh, Mazer, that's a nasty whiff. You know that you're the one that lost the round there for your team. That's a nasty one. Oh god, he had his opponent completely beat. Hands down. That was Almazer's kill.
Ouch.
Oh no, that's devastating. And it's such an important round as well for the CTs to win. That said, they only survived with one player, so their economy is awful right now.
Right.
So they still need to win. If they don't win this round, their economy is completely ruined. The loss bonus reset entirely, and forZe will have a really strong chance to get solid momentum.
Right. They're also running low on funds themselves, though, so this round is very important. It's kind of a 2-for-1 type deal, it would feel like, depending on who locks it up. So you are seeing them starting to challenge the top middle. Again, a very fast-paced team as forZe. They don't waste much time. They're very decisive. They don't like to linger around a whole heck of a lot. And this time they've chosen to knock on the door of a Moto Rat, perhaps. A smoke from Crucial and company, though, is going to keep them at bay for now. Flit, the one leading up over towards balcony, is going to have Z-Power right behind him. And now, actually, forZe back off and reconsider their options.
Yeah, I like this. You know, forZe are going for a retake of Banana. Power takes down Crucial. That's a huge frag to get. And Thomas loses a battle towards B. Now what do you do? What you have to worry about everything. Everything's been exposed.
Yeah, that split push style that forZe can sometimes implement is damaging so much, especially if they can find just one opening kill, because then it creates so much havoc. You don't really know where you can go, what's safe, what you need to worry about most. Your priorities are all in a mess. Like, you don't really have a clear vision of what the next step should be. And that's why when I think of forZe, the word that always comes to mind, even though I overused it quite a lot the last game, but I think it's the apt word is chaos. Like, forZe is such a chaotic team, it's so hard to keep tabs on them.
They wants to finish off the remaining players, knowing that they will be already saving.
Yeah.
And I wonder actually if Endpoint, the way that they play, if it won't get exploited as badly as it was against Furia, because forZe is not a team that does run the default plays, because Endpoint give up map control fairly easily compared to most teams on this map. That's really weak against teams that run strong defaults. But as forZe, I'm not saying they don't run a strong default, but they don't have that conventional default where you take maximum map control all the time.
when you research forZe and you find that, oh yeah, their roles are pretty loose, they do have defaults on some maps, but other maps they're just a lot more loose and scrappy. You think that surely they shouldn't do as well. Like they should be kind of a team that's easy to deal with, but they have enough firepower to be so dangerous. I mean, Z-Power really leads that, but, you know, Flit obviously very good, and the other players are also quite solid, right? There's not really a player on this team that's like a crazy fragging burden. You know, they have a bunch of players who are solid. Maybe they don't have like a crazy superstar level player, although Z-Power at times looks like maybe he could be, but they have a bunch of players who are capable. And again, they have a style that they feel comfortable playing at the very least. So they're like that spoiler team, I feel like that team that can kind of be just like a dangerous team, kind of like Hellraisers was in the past. I think is like an afterword to use.
They definitely seem like they're a bit offbeat, and if you're tuned into the current meta at the top level, they're gonna just be a little bit off that. And but playing into it enough that they have the right answers and they can compete. So yeah, they must be very frustrating to play against if you don't have a lot of experience against them. Watching demos and actually having the experience firsthand is certainly two different things. And Endpoint, they've only managed to gain 2 rounds so far on the CT side. So after all said and done, forZe are they are looking to or shaping up to have that big T side. And Endpoint, I mean, you can definitely find ways to make these rounds work, but they don't have too many smokes, and that's normally the saving grace in a round like this, is you can at least delay the opponents, but they don't have that option at the moment.
No, not at all. Do see forZe open up a bit more standard this time, getting some quick apartments control. I mean, I think as FaceCrack is trying to counter the boiler aggression that we've seen Endpoint putting out pretty often. Wanted to make sure he was there to deal with it if it was going to be a situation that arose, but doesn't quite happen. Endpoint a bit more passive, actually stacking B now, which again, you have to gamble on rounds like this if you're Endpoint. But if you gamble wrong, it just kind of leads to a victory for the opposing team. Robin good for 1, but with that frag, A has been unlocked. No Surreal at least poses a bit of a challenge, so they're actually making this round a bit costly at the very least.
Couple kills. It does make things interesting because all of a sudden then there's like less T, so you can maybe get a 2v1 here. You can see Flit might get a 3v1, and indeed they do get the kill. So is the gun going to be collected? That's the question. No, Jerry will defend it, and that's pretty important. Good stuff there. But as you say, they do actually incur some damage to the forZe side, and that's going to help in the long run, but only if in the short run they're able to find a victory in this round or the next. So full buy comes through, no AWP for Crucial, which has been fairly decisive in some of these rounds for Endpoint's success at least.
Yep, no doubt his challenges early on at middle was something that helped out Endpoint a couple of different times earlier in the half, as well as his aggression in the apartments, but have to make do with the rifle instead.
Jerry with a pretty annoying smoke there. You might wonder, like, why is he dropping a smoke there? And okay.
Don't really see a boost there that often. I will say that. But they actually do at least equalize things. It was looking grim, but that helps. But look at how fast Split has wrapped up Moto, killed Arch, opened up CT spawn. B is vulnerable as all get out. MightyMax at least stops the forward progression at spawn.
That's the bomb. Oh no, they wanted to rotate to B, and the bomb's being caught out. Uh-oh, that's a problem. How do they deal with this one? See, Power's on an AWP, and Jerry's going to have to swing through on a Krieg. The smokes have been dropped. There are no more smokes for the CTs, and I guess that's going to really be the saving grace here for forZe, because they don't have a huge amount of time, but they have enough time to wait the smoke out.
They could at least smoke the bomb and be able to pick it back up. They have a pot flash as well they could perhaps use to try to clear out brackets, but we'll have to see how it all unfolds as E-Power slowly creeps down here, Boiler's side, with AWP already scoped in to limit any noise he has to make as he makes his approach, but no one has really shown themselves. Endpoint playing pretty safe, pretty disciplined, which is making forZe have to stress out just a bit here. Smoke goes down, the block off port side. They can focus here over towards Closet. Arch, they do get the entry onto Crucial. They equalize the numbers, but here we see MightyMax able to make the peak, able to make the response. And now with the time the way that it is, it's all over. Z-Power to save an AWP.
Yep, not much to do there. That's unfortunate. They got caught out on the rotation there. I mean, that was the risk. You know, they had to call it mid rounds with the way the openings went. You know, Flick goes for that all-in play through the smoke, which, I mean, you know, he was feeling it. We know if that's Flick's style, that's what he likes to do. and they had the smoke down still. So at that point, they could still have gone A. So that's the kind of the reason why Flick can do that, because even if he dies, the smoke is still up, and there's still that question for the CTs. But we can see that they did get caught with that bomber in rotation, so that's unfortunate for them. But into the next one we go, and there's more of an effort towards Banana here from forZe early on, it seems.
Yep, back to that 4-1 B opening that we were talking about earlier. Even Face Crack just off of ult pretty early, and Z-Power just stands there and takes the heat. The stove is hot. When you touch it, it does burn, Dan.
I feel like I don't know if there's a miscommunication, if he was expecting somebody else to smoke it.
Maybe, or I don't know. That is definitely odd. I don't know if he was flashed, didn't realize he wasn't out of the fire. I don't know. Either way, a big problem because of that, but good utility to counter back here from forZe. But we have seen a great response from Endpoint in return. They're getting all the frags right now. Banana, Thomas continues to wreak havoc. It's now all on Almazer. And he is not long for this world. So Endpoint starting to put up some rounds now. They've won actually the last 2 in a row, the last 4 out of 6. And so they're starting to show us a bit of something here on Inferno.
They look kind of awkward because, you know, it felt like the CTs here. You can see Endpoint, they really challenged for this. They had 3 players. They were holding top Banana. This is an opportunity when you have 4 players for the forZe side to actually be like, oh, they're investing? Okay, let's invest as well. Let's get the mollies towards sandbags, EHEs, or towards the to various angles they might be holding. But we didn't really see much of a reaction. They were just kind of walking up, not really using their utility there. So not sure what the deal was there for forZe, but either way, Endpoint, they have won a very key round, and this gets them back into the game. Halts that surge of rounds from forZe. And forZe are now on the pistols, pistol save. They've taken apartments. But how far will they get? I wager not too far.
I would tend to agree with you, Dan. I think you've had a brilliant conclusion about how this will probably play out, and I don't really have any arguments against it. So this is interesting. Are they just playing a little bit of leapfrog over here? Not sure what they're... What is this?
Trying to like run boost or something?
No, I think they're messing around.
They're just like taking an impromptu timeout, basically.
All right. They're trying to build a pyramid. Wait, no. Oh.
So yeah, I guess they're just chatting about just taking this as a timeout basically, and chatting about what they're going to be doing in their next gun round.
It was one of those things where I was waiting to see, have they innovated something new and wacky? And the answer is no, actually.
They're just having some fun.
Time for a double run boost mid. Didn't quite work out, did it?
They have wasted some utility of the CTs as well. There's a dink on Crucial. He's going to have to fall back, but Surreal there to protect him. Well, there we go. There's Jerry with a frag from the P250. So some damage has been done here from forZe. Honestly, this is already an acceptable result for them. Keep the economy down in the CTs, and mission accomplished. 7-5 as Endpoint get a little bit closer to forZe's scoreline, but this is the round now where we'll see what was really in discussion in that previous round from forZe, and then what are they planning?
The issue is it's limited utility for forZe, so they don't really have a lot to like fight for banana control and then go for the execute. They basically have to either waste it all and execute and kind of dry hit a site, or they have to just run one big set piece in like the mid to late round region and try not to use any utility along the way to that point in the round. So that certainly is going to do wonders for Endpoint, who have plenty of nades at their disposal to control Banana. Something, again, that they failed to do against Furia pretty much all game long yesterday. Now you're seeing them able to kind of get a little bit more comfortable and kind of play a more standard game plan. And they're going to go for that expected kind of 1-4 split. Once you control top, B has someone boosted up on the wall. You can then focus that defense on the A side. And you have like an early alert system over on B to get that rotation from Arch.
Yep.
This is like a super classic old school CT setup for Inferno. I think Juan and Source used to call it the drop 2 setup, if people remember Juan Source.
Yeah, this is how you want it to go. And here comes the top mid push. And it's going to it's going to be difficult. They do trade out evenly, but there is time here for the T side. Robin in trouble. There's some assistance coming through from Mighty Max. Just in the nick of time here. Now, more trades coming through. Oh no, Crucials will get caught on Banana. Now they can take the bomb to B. That is a disaster. Oh no, that's not supposed to happen. Mighty Max now, he's in a lot of trouble. Will push forwards. I don't know how he gets that. Looked like Sepal must have just come off the angle or something like that. I'm not sure what happened to him. And now Jerry has to clutch it, but he does have the benefit of knowing exactly where Mighty Max was. Plenty of time to position him for Jerry.
Who is the mightiest mouse, Jerry or Mighty Mouse or Mighty Max? That's the question.
Find out. Oh, what the hell is that? Mighty Max, how does he win that fight? That doesn't really make sense. That's a pretty devious off angle, but Mighty Max, against all expectation, pulls out the clutch there, and that is a hugely important round for Endpoint to win. And honestly, around it felt like forZe, they had so many good spots there.
Yeah, when they got that kill at Banana, it looked like all hope was lost for Endpoint, but Mighty Max catching a crazy duel at top middle against Z-Power, catching him way off guard somehow, just a crazy timing, a game of milliseconds Counter-Strike can be, and fortune was on his side on that one, so he closes the gap, 6-7 now, forZe onto a low buy also, so a chance for Endpoint to tie this thing up. They've been on a tear lately. They've won the last 4 in a row. forZe's hot start has come to a screeching halt.
Very committed apartment setup here from Endpoint. And because of the way that forZe are playing, it's not a gun round and they're actually not running a default, they could actually get a kill here. This burst could be fairly strong. It depends on the timings. I see Crucial going back and forth with that AWP. And good nade down onto Almeza and Flit. Here comes the push. The flashbang's very good. In fact, it will allow FaceCrack to get a kill for free, basically. Crucial stuck back against the wall on the site. Only one shot connected. There's a second. Crucial looks for more up on top of the box here. Very difficult position. Will eventually go down. It was a valiant effort, but not enough, it seems. However, Endpoint still with advantage. Thomas trying to get a look in, but he can't quite get through the choke point, but Mighty Max will assist. But now it is all down to Mighty Max as he wraps around Porch. See if he can find something. The double peak angle, not looking too strong for him. He's going to force the issue. It almost felt doable, but Jerry will take him down.
Yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow, though, if you're Endpoint. Those are the types of rounds that aren't quite gimmies, but they're rounds you should feel pretty comfortable winning, given that you have superior firepower. But you also have to credit forZe for making the most use out of what they had. You know, they only have Mac-10s upgraded pistol for the most part. What's the best thing you can do with that? Find a way to force close quarters engagements. And doing just like a quick apartments pop, catching a nice pot flash on the balcony player, getting that kill, you know, overwhelming Crucial's op inside the site itself. Just really well done. And now Z-Power opens up this round also nicely, catching Surreal. So a quick 5-on-4 for forZe in the final round of the half, where they are the ones toting the advantage this time. Thomas with the XM in this round, interestingly enough. Don't see that too often. Can be useful in apartments and inside the site itself, though.
So there's FaceCrack looking for those entries towards top middle, as we know he is the entry master for forZe. He's very confident. And forZe have no banana control, but Endpoint have no banana control either, so...
It's tough for Endpoint because they are already limited in resources because they're down a player, but they have no vision top mid, and they don't really have any vision top banana either, so they have no idea what they're up against. That's always the danger of a CT team on Inferno when you get denied those initial levels of progression on the site. It really makes you have to gamble or just have to play really passive and hope for the best. Good utility, though, is slowing down Z-Power at the very least here on the port side. Flit, though, will begin to start stepping out. FaceCrack is on the wrap as well. The kills are coming in quite nicely for forZe. There is a bit of a response, but it's not good enough. 9-6 is going to be the half for forZe, off to a great start here to try to keep the series going.
2-0ing forZe. I think that would be an insane upset. I don't think anyone would ever expect that, but Endpoint won that Vertigo after a quad overtime, and yeah, that's 6 rounds. They got a lot to work with, and here they go on that banana charge. Let's see how those entries pan out as Surreal leads the way, and it's... Ooh, okay, well, after a quick couple of trades, forZe are definitely looking like they have the upper hand.
Absolutely. Looking to just get this bomb planted now. Almeza, though, could play spoiler, doing a great job applying pressure, but now dealt with by Mighty Max. Still the advantage, though, for forZe on the retake. It's going to come down to brute force, though. There are no pieces of utility, also no kit in play as well, unless there's one down on the site somewhere that I haven't seen. Mighty Max with another there onto FaceCrack as well, so now into the 2v2. Mighty Max trying to watch out for CT spawn now. With that damage will actually push forward. A good option, but hasn't landed the Marcus yet. Wow, the crazy stuff there from Jerry. It's not going to wind up mattering. Mighty Max completes the round. Well done by him. Wow, that was nuts.
Yeah, sick round from Mighty Max. He had great movement, especially after this one of these initial kills. I think after this kill, his movement into Porch was really smooth to get this kill. Kind of trying to move to another position at the same time as getting a kill, just keeping himself very mobile and very, very useful to his teammates. Stuck at the quad position as well. Great stuff. And that is the start endpoint needed, of course. We get the force buy from forZe. Let's see if they can make good of it. Power with that scout, trying to get some cheeky pokes into second mid, although he will not find anything just yet. It's a pretty spread out endpoint here. 3 players banana, 2 players towards apartments. The typical sort of default spread. But we'll see how that works out, because that could actually backfire if forZe have any setups. But they don't really have any setups to deny apartments control. Or
no,
banana
not at
control,
all.
so they're in the dark.
Who has some vision top mid at the very least, so they at least get a little bit of information out of all this. And we'll know once the attack starts to ensue. But they're holding triple B pretty heavily, so the rotation is going to be a bit long towards A. That could really help out Endpoint. But again, you have to kind of gamble on rounds like this when you're limited in your resources. They have invested pretty heavily, though, for a second round of the half, rather than waiting to get a full buy in the next round. And top mid will be taken by Endpoint now. They're wrapping Moto, the most exposed position on the map right now based on forZe's defense, and they do get the first kill as well. So A is pretty much unlocked.
Ooh, interesting position from Flit. I was wondering if he could get into the apartments there, but he's giving up his position. Surreal's lurking there in the balcony. And he's going to get taken out, so the gun can be collected. Now, they have options. They don't actually have to go for this. They can play very light exits and then hold onto these guns for the following round.
Right.
That might be the play here. They are trying to hold for soft exits, but Flit was in a fairly forward position. That does get caught out.
Yeah. Hard to do because you know those MAC-10s are going to chase for kills, right? I mean, that's their whole purpose, is to try to get as much money as you can out of those 2 weapons. So need to be a bit safer, I guess you would say, if you want to hold on to these weapons.
And given the plant being around the Vino sign, they can all sit in the pit. Even if they're tagged up a little bit, they will not go down. So good plant from Endpoint. That's something you can note at home. If you're playing an anti-eco and you will want to save, and the site's for free and you can plant anywhere, get that Vino plant in so you can save in the pits.
So not much forZe can do other than work with the few weapons they were able to carry over. So again, a great chance for Endpoint now actually to tie this game right back up. And we all saw how close and wild Vertigo was. Will Inferno be the same is now the question, I think, on the tip of all of our tongues. This round, though, you would think should be a walk in the park for Endpoint. They did lose a round like this in the first half, so don't want to count out forZe just yet. But that certainly helps all the damage they've taken.
Tagging there, there's a retake flashbang, looking for that info. And they're going to get a kill out of it. Jerry committing for more here. He will go down as well as Almeza. And FaceCrack, he's unfortunate. He doesn't have a better weapon there. If he had a deal, anything else really, maybe he gets a kill, but you know what, still a little bit awkward for Endpoint. But they still have 4 players left alive. And they've got a lot of utility, so they'll be really comfortable to just force the issue onto the side. As long as they throw the correct grenades, they'll be fine.
Yep. Couple Molotovs for Dark Corner as well as New Box. Smokes as well for Coffins and CT Spawn. So basically everything that you could want for a B hit is going to be in play. There's a player up top of Oranges, which can be a tricky angle. And Flit has a great timing through the smoke to get a couple of kills, but still, all in all, a 2-on-1 that's going to certainly favor Endpoint.
Oh, no. Is he going to get... I thought he was going to push for a cheeky frag onto the planter there. That's going to go straight forward, but there's not much he can do. Good damage, though. 3 kills, not too bad. We're going to see a buy rounds coming through now. So, you know, some of the saved weaponry and so on that they had from that previous round, it ends up helping them pretty dramatically. So
now it's the real test. I think is kind of the conclusion we're trying to get at here. And Endpoint's a team, again, that are also aggressive in their own right. They're very scrappy. They like to commit early to something. They like to apply pressure as quickly as they can. They're very quick to follow up. They don't really do a lot of tricky stuff. They just try to play simple CS and be together as a unit and trade frag. So that is what you're going to see. But look at this push power. It doesn't pay out, though. Surreal getting the kill, but we're seeing equal exchanges when it's all said and done.
The thing did go through from Flit there to Robin, so that is actually going to help pretty demonstrably there. You can see that FaceCrack's able to follow up as well into one of the more healthy players. So 2v2 here, and the CTs are getting some forward positions here at a good timing. Crucial's repositioning to lane, which does allow an easier entry from Moto, which is not smoked at the moment, so the CTs can make their way forwards together from Library. Nice nade, that's huge. Now it's just down to Crucial. There's the first connection, his position now given away. And the CT, Jerry, past the angle. There's the quick smoke forward. Crucial falls back, but that bomb's deep in the site. Jerry could start to put the pressure on. Crucial has to go forwards. He's got to get close range with this AWP. There's the pressure coming through, and he makes it work. Jerry forced out straight into the the crosshairs of his opponent, and that's a beautiful finish from Crucial. Right down to the wire. That was expensive.
Certainly was. There was just so much ruckus early on in the apartments. I mean, the frags were back and forth in the blink of an eye. It was a 3-on-3 and then right into a 2-on-2. Again, reminiscent of some of the stuff we saw in Vertigo where it's just very scrappy. And I think that these two teams, based on their own unique play styles, when you put them up against each other, that's the type of outcomes you can expect, where sometimes it can just be so rapid and so hard to follow. But at the very least, Endpoint have like default roles established, right? That kind of helps them have something to fall back on, something that forZe doesn't necessarily have as much of. But oh man, I wonder what this shotgun could be a real problem. Up close, but he gets cleared out. Well done by Thomas.
This is getting scary now, Dust. I actually feel like Endpoint, what they're doing right here is they're creating some economic security. If they're able to stay alive with 5 in this round, which they should be able to do, there's no retake potential whatsoever from forZe here.
Right.
And the possibility for exits is also very minimal in this situation because they've got banana control, they've got construction control, there's everything going for Endpoint's favor. So they should hold on to pretty much all their money.
Yeah, I mean, remember, Endpoint was down 7-2 in the first half. They've been able to come back down, actually take a lead in this game, and now they're going to extend it with a round like this. And I think what you're starting to see from Endpoint is they're starting to settle in. Like, they're establishing their default. You know, Thomas and Mighty Max are doing well, getting that banana control. Surreal playing his job in the apartments. You know, Robin being that guy at middle, trying to get information, trying to apply pressure on brackets, deny CTs their space. And it's all coming together. You know, they're all getting what they need to do done. And now it will jump up to 11-9.
One thing I think that is worth noting is the first Inferno we saw from Endpoint yesterday against Furia. The way that they played it, you know, we had a lot of criticisms in terms of how much of the map Endpoint were giving up on the CT side to Furia.
Right.
And that may have been maybe a misguided attempt to say, okay, we know that Furia plays really aggressively, so we're just going to play really passively. As opposed to, because in this game so far, what I've seen on, obviously we're out of the CT side of Endpoint now, but they played more for map control. So whether it's an adaptation of lessons learned from yesterday, or whether it was that they were just kind of overcompensating for the matchup yesterday, either way, whatever it is, today they're playing a better Inferno.
I think it's tough. Like, I think also it might have to do with like jitters and timidness because, you know, I've seen this time and time again. Like Endpoint, like many other, you know, teams that are taking their first steps in playing international lands like this, they might at home play very aggressively and play in a sort of style that's their comfort. But when you come to LAN, sometimes you don't feel as confident going with that type of style because you don't want to get punished. You want to feel things out more. You want to kind of take your time to settle into the game. And so what you wind up doing is you play opposing to what your strengths normally are. Now you're seeing Endpoint, I think, actually play to what they're used to in these online tournaments that they play at home. And I think that it's helping them, again, feel more comfortable.
Well, speaking of comfort, Zipow with the ult mid-peak with the AWP won't be rewarded. A lot of his aggressive plays haven't really turned out very well for forZe so far. I have to say, you know, Zipow, I think he's been a little bit missing in terms of that. And forZe need him. They need somebody to be a playmaker to get some early round advantages. I look forward to seeing Zipow maybe moving around, just taking peeks of banana apartments, just really mixing things up in future rounds. But for now, forZe anticipating that top mid take is going to come in. Wow, what a beautiful double molly, but how is FaceCrack standing there? I don't even understand, and the frags will go the way of forZe defending the top mid take. It looked like Endpoint knew exactly what to do, but nothing's working.
Yeah, that is so unfortunate. Those Molotovs somehow, some way did not force FaceCrack out better. He lingered around, he even got a kill, and also bought an opportunity for his teammates to be able to crossfire with him from the opposite side. And just that space they thought they were going to get for free, they did not. And that really hurt them in a big, big way. And so we do see that forZe are still hanging around this game. They're not looking to get 2-0. They're not looking to get eliminated from this tournament just yet. They're looking to still fight here on their map pick of Inferno. That's a big victory to get. Money is starting to run low on Endpoint. They will be able to buy this round, sure, but if they lose this next one, then forZe can look to jump ahead, as they do still have a little bit of money stored up in their bank accounts. And Endpoint obviously know how important this next round can be. They will take the extra time to talk things over.
This is kind of crazy. I feel like that shouldn't have happened. I was looking at it,
I
and
agree.
I'm like, it looked like Endpoint was set up so well. Like forZe's defense didn't really look great.
Right.
But Yeah, so that's one of those rounds where we would have to like take the demo and look at it and see, okay, where was the real point of failure for Endpoint? Obviously, the Molotov thing was an obvious one, but there must have been, had to have been something else too. Either way, they will start off with banana control. No contest here from forZe. They're playing very passively. They may be thinking about a retake of banana. You can see there's the HE that goes towards the car position, which is really nice. If you assume that the T's have this position, that's a great timing to get some damage.
Right.
And this is now a great timing to get the retake in, because you can see that now that after the T's get position, they want to rotate out to get that top mid control.
And by the default, it's against your Endpoint right now. I mean, everyone's playing the roles they normally play, so again, at least they have a bit more structure, I think, behind their play than forZe showed on their T side. A little bit more standard, I think a little bit more familiar to the viewer to see this type of play out of Endpoint, as they will indeed get control of brackets as they were hoping for. Z-Power, though, might go for a little bit of a late peek, a little bit of a different timing, and does catch Crucial way off guard, who was not anticipating a peek to come at that moment. That is going to give the edge over to forZe, as his bomb does shore up as well towards the middle, so it seems like Endpoint do want to take it in here. They just got to try to push through lane. It's going to be up to FaZe. They get another late timing peek. They catch people with nades in their hands. This is absolutely devastating from Flit.
Yeah, that's a really nice timing to find. It's a gamble from Flit, but oh man, does it pay off for forZe. FaZe crack below the balcony player as well. Surreal is going to go down for free, and that's 11 to 11. And just like that, if you just look at this round and then the last one before it, it's suddenly looking like all of that momentum, all of the air is just taken out of Endpoint. No more wind to their sails. Left adrift here, and I don't know which direction they're even floating in at this point. We'll see if they can figure it out, but they have to first go for an eco, and with that's really cements forZe's dominance now.
It's going to be so tough because I feel like they're losing to things that normally you're not supposed to lose to. I mean, you can't even anticipate those types of things. Like those late timing peaks at top middle aren't very common. Most people are content to hold back, watch the moto wrap, play from pit, play from graveyard, play from balcony, and let you set up your utility, and that's just not happening. forZe is going to break through, and then forced the issue, at top mid a couple of rounds ago as well. That whole Molotov disaster at port.
Yeah.
So I think that Endpoint are just not used to seeing that.
Oh, here goes the challenge on Banana, and no kills had by the Endpoint side as expected. Again, it's hard to expect too much. Oh, beautiful. Some damage from Robin. That's one kill. That's cool. It's enough in a round like that with no investment. So we're back in with the buy.
Yeah, I'm curious if Endpoint are going to pick up the pace at some point. I mean, they've, again, played very standard, very default, which I know that they had that in their playbook, but I feel like when I've watched some of their other games, they tend to be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more assertive in the early round. They haven't really seen that just yet. Maybe, again, they're just trying to take their time and be a little bit more cautious.
Z-Power's starting to have a lot better of a game here on Inferno. He's leading the way in the fragging department. We can see him moving around the map. That's what you want your AWPer to be able to do.
Right.
Because it becomes very unpredictable for the T side to know how you can move in certain spots. And there will just sometimes be an AWP there, and there's nothing you can do. You're just going to die every so often to an AWP.
I think it's a great point to bring up, because Z-Power certainly was quite quiet yesterday versus North, and even in the last map, he seemed not himself a lot. So to see him now, gears turning, is certainly a good sign if you're a forZe fan.
And here as well, they're really exploiting the fact that Endpoint haven't really been retaking Banana at any point, so they can just have one player in Banana, and the rest of the four here for the CTs are ready to defend A. That's where the push is coming, and they know it. They have all the information in the world here. forZe have enormous advantages. The pop flash play to crunch into the top mid take of Endpoint is going to yield 2 quick kills. FaZe crack looking to finish it off. Nice spray for the double, and that leaves Thomas alone in the 1v3. And forZe have outplayed Endpoint in every regard in this round, and it would take an immense clutch from Thomas to do anything here. He'll get one, but the trade is there. Some good counter-strike from forZe to take the round.
It's starting to look a little bit rough here on Endpoint. They're just, having a hard time pushing past that initial launching point. Like, they're able to get into top mid, sure, but I think that, again, forZe has done a great job challenging top mid effectively. Whether it's off-timing peaks, whether it's just establishing early crossfires, whether it's being willing to take the duels on the close angles and not give up that space for free in the early round. Whatever it is, Endpoint need to find an adjustment soon. Otherwise, this game is going to go by the wayside, and we're going to see a map 3 I don't know whether they just meant something to be more aggressive. If you want to go for faster B control and actually just plow into B a little bit earlier, you know, rather than just kind of playing out the default into the mid round. Obviously, you have to worry about a well-equipped CT team that has the economy to, you know, barrel down utility on each side of the map and stop you from fast-paced plays. So it's a tough one. It's a head-scratcher. I'm not really sure what Endpoint can do other than, again, just try something slightly different. I think the default and how they've played top middle has just been ineffective.
Yeah, it's certainly leaving much to be desired. Face crack here might. It's always so scary, some of the timings. Sometimes you can just really get caught off guard and he'll fall back in time though. Zapao has spotted some aggression towards the apartment, so now they have a high alert that Endpoint are moving through there, but they're going for a quick arch play actually, and Zapao's going to spot this. Repositions after the first kill, looking very smooth. Misses the second shot, but he is still able to keep them at arm's length for now, so he's looking good. And Endpoint just can't seem to close the distance. Zapao goes aggressive. He is just out there, and he's having a lot of success with that P250. Okay, Zapao, fair enough. You just pull out the P250 and just kill everyone.
He's like, so I see all you guys are using upgraded pistols in this round, so you know what? I'll join you. I'll go ahead and pull out the P250 myself. And man, oh man, does he dispatch of them quite quickly with it.
It's just a bit too easy with the AWP, I guess.
That's so wild.
But pull out that P250 for the flashy frags. All right, 2 rounds more, and that's all forZe need to force that third map, which would be Train. Zapao once again towards Banana, and he's been mixing up his positions reliably.
Yep.
This is a nasty angle. Better angle than for the T side. Right eye versus the left eye. And he's going to win the battle because of it. The trade attempt is through. They want to try to invest, get something out of the investment, but they can't. They're forced to take it. They're forced to take 2 players down for no response. They can't do anything here.
I respect them trying something different and trying to contest ban a bit more assertively, but it just didn't really get the result that they needed. They just took way too much damage along the way, and now it's just getting even worse. It's piling on as Surreal is dispatched of over here at Boiler, just leaving Robin and Thomas as a tag team duo here at B. There's only 1 CT here for now, so if they could get that kill, maybe they could get in and get a bomb plant and try something, but now a rotation has come in. Right here at the CC spawn, it's going to be Jerry. He'll refresh that smoke on top and try to push through it, but the crossfire too strong from Almazer. And that is now map point for forZe. They're looking to head this over the Train.
It's going to be very difficult for Endpoint to find any way back into this. It feels like so far, as you say, you know, systematically, we're just seeing pretty much every attempt to remedy their T-side just failing.
Yeah.
They can't quite seem to find a way in. They can't get that banana control successfully. They can't find those opening picks. The top mid takes are not working either. And we haven't seen too many set pieces from Banana, but again, because they struggle to hold on to that position. And once again, Zapao, he's not going to get anything from that ult mid peak, but just that confidence, that presence from forZe. They have all the information once again to know that right now Endpoint are certainly rallied around this banana position.
Yeah, the problem is there's just not much utility for Endpoint here. They can't really fight too much with utility. They have to just kind of wait it out and then go for one last-ditch effort, one last set piece. And they had the 2 smokes they want for Coffins and CT spawn. They have 1 pop flash. They're all gathered up here. This is going to be their last hope of trying to 2-0 this series and avoid a map number 3, but it seems so unlikely. There's a pretty good defense here in place. A good flash, though, actually does give them a bit of space. They start strolling into the site, but Almazer and company able to put up a stout defense early on at the very least, but the site does get taken nonetheless. And now it is going to be a retake situation, but all the CTs are here, and the bomb has yet to be planted, actually. Finally, it goes down, but it gave a lot of time for CTs to start setting up.
At least they've got that construction control. Can base the push off of this. We got that retake smoke for Banana as well, cutting off line of sight there. That creates problems for Endpoint. In goes face crack, flashbang's pretty good. 2 players in pool, might be surprising though to find, and the trades are coming out thick and fast. Great stuff here from Endpoint to lock this one down, leaving Jerry on the bomb site. He doesn't have assistance. He is stuck there by himself, but maybe it's enough here, doing a lot of damage, and that's going to force the power through, but he doesn't have enough time here. He wanted to go for it, but the time will deny him as he falls back and away. He won't get taken out as he retreats. And Endpoint, they scrape by, but can they do that 3 more times?
That is the key question, isn't it? We've already had plenty of overtimes in the last map. We could be on for another, at least one overtime if Endpoint can keep this up. But just based on how their T side has played out, it's hard to see them winning enough rounds in a row. I mean, they had the hot start to the half when they went up 5-0. But this is the first round that they've won in the last 7 played. So to watch them try to go 3 in a row, it seems like a very tall task. But we'll have to see if they're up to it. Again, just playing it out very slow, very default. Z-Power going for a different kind of boost at middle this time. Catches Body Max way off guard. Not only was it an off timing, but it was also a weird angle.
Yeah, I used to see that a lot from Guardian when he was in his phase days. That's a nice one. And what a way to start things off here. Endpoint in a 3v5 immediately. They're almost committed to try to go into B at this point. It's the only map control that they have is Banana. They don't have top middle really, although that said, Cyrilla's looking to see if he can poke his head in. But at this point, it's a very typical response. What do they have? They've got Banana. Well, I guess it's going to be a B attack then. We don't really have anything else going for us.
Right. And it's about that boost now. Will they check it? I mean, it's common, but sometimes whenever you have your focus elsewhere, it can still catch you off guard as they try to pour into the site. And indeed, they do not check it. The first guy in does go down to Jerry. It's looking like Math3's right around the corner. And indeed, it's going to be. Jerry and Almazer will finish things off here for fours. And so